Hey, what's up, everybody? So this is BDF 44. I want to talk about the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, Game 1 is in the books as of right now. We got Game 2 coming up, I believe, tonight or today at some point. And what I saw in Game 1 was a very, very balanced pair of teams that really match up well against one another, and uh, not too much of a differential in talent levels from one side to the next. Uh, I do believe that right now, obviously, with the Heat having taken Game 1, they are in control. But that's control that is easily relinquished with just one loss. It's very early. Um, okay, so the Heat have a lot of shooting, and they play defense very well. And they have a superstar in Jimmy Butler who's ready for the moment. They're balanced, as I said before. They're pretty deep, very deep. And they just are not a team that you can take for granted in this stage in the game. They are lacking in experience. They may need maybe one more four or somebody like that, a player at the four spot that can kind of take them to the next level. But I think right now they're able to get by because they have so many deadly young shooters. Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. And then you look at a guy like Kelly Olynyk. You're looking at another guy like Goran Dragic, Jones Jr. They just have a really good team. And obviously Bam Adebayo, their all-star center. When you deal with that team, Jimmy Butler is the face, of course. They're coming at you. They're coming at you. They're not afraid. They're very well coached. Eric Spoelstra's done a fantastic job. Since he was hired, basically, the dude's fantastic, and they're a team to be dealt with. They have a lot of defensive prowess. They got good balance of veterans on the team as well. You got Andre Iguodala back there. There's a name that I'm missing that they have. It's a veteran guy that's not coming to mind, but they have another veteran back there who's very dangerous. Jay Crowder is the guy that's coming to mind. So when you're dealing with this Miami Heat team, they are really balanced. They have youth and vets, great coaching, could easily win this series. The Boston Celtics have about 7 guys that are all playing great at once. That's what's happening with the Celtics. In my opinion, as good as they are, I think they may have slightly overachieved at this point. I did not expect them, and I know other people don't feel this way, but I didn't expect them to be here. And the reason why is because I didn't expect them to get the production from the players that they have playing the center and power forward positions that they have. Robert Williams, Daniel Tice, Semi Ojeleye, I believe that's how you say his name. Those guys have played well, you know, and that's really why the Celtics are where they are, in my opinion. You were always going to get good stuff from Kemba Walker. You were always going to get star play from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But you weren't expecting to get a whole lot from those guys, the centers, and you weren't expecting to see Marcus Smart play this well. And that brings me to the other aspect of the situation. Marcus Smart is playing like an all-star. He's never played this great on both sides of the floor. You used to him clanking shots, taking bad shots and missing them. His shot is falling right now. So now you have a player who he's even more difficult to scheme against because now he's become an offensive threat. It's not just streaky three-point shooting. This guy's getting to the line. He's getting and one, stuff like that. He's just turned his offensive game into something really good. It's almost like the Victor Oladipo transition, where Victor Oladipo's shot started falling. He turned into an all-star. That's what looks like it's happening with Marcus Smart. He's been in the league for a little bit, drafted the same year as Julius Randle right before him. And it stands to reason why he would still be on the uprise in terms of his trajectory. But the jump that he has made over the last 2 years has been pretty special. And the jump that he's made just in this bubble has been crazy. So as long as he's playing like this, the Celtics are always going to be a threat. The Heat are going to have to find a way to extinguish the fire that he gives them on the defensive end. And hope to God that he misses shots. He cools off, because this dude is just hot, flaming hot. So the Boston Celtics are a dangerous team. Kemba Walker's playing some of the best basketball I've seen him play It's just been a pleasure to watch him pass the rock. I had no idea he had that in him like that. And seeing what he can do with real talent around him, their team's through 4 games away from a finals appearance. So it just goes to show that he was able to carve a career out of the ineptitude of the Charlotte Bobcats / Hornets. Testament to his greatness. I'm very happy for him to see him in this situation. Jaylen Brown is taking, like I said, he's a star right now. I don't know to what degree. I don't think he and Jaylen Brown are the same beast, but I do think that Jaylen Brown is becoming an all-star level caliber player, and taking him for granted is dangerous. His jump shot is falling. His three-point shot is falling. He's always going to slash. He's very, very athletic. He's always going to play D. He's very fast, very, very quick. And, I've liked what I've seen out of him as well. I want to say I haven't seen Enes Kanter play very much. And I know I said that in the last video, but I just haven't seen him on the floor. They got a guy by the name of Taco Fall who's also not getting any run right now. But that's a player who is so very tall and so very long that if they were to play him, I think he could do some positive things for them. So that's a really interesting also, just for people who are paying attention to both series. The Nuggets got a guy by the name of Bol that they're not using as well. They would be wise to send him out there in their series. But either way, that's a situation for another video. In the meantime, the Boston Celtics ultimately have just had a lot of production from their center position and their power forward position with those guys that I mentioned, and I'm very, very happy for them. Even though I'm a Laker fan, as a fan, I don't root for the Celtics, but just as somebody who's watching a team progress, Brad Stevens has done a fantastic job again, making this team what they are, and it's a testament to why they are only down 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now at this point, we see it's game 2, so we'll see what's going on in this series. I still think it's way up in the air, but if I'm a predicting person, I said the Miami Heat were coming out of the Eastern Conference, and I'll stick with that. I think both of these teams are even, so it's not like I'm sitting up here ready to bet the farm on this. The Celtics could very well come out. I think the storyline is amazing either way if the Lakers win it, but it's one of those situations where it's like the Miami Heat have Jimmy Butler, bunch of shooters, and a center that can do a lot. I think that may be enough to overcome the Boston Celtics having really good play from not great centers. You know what I mean? That they're going to need more than Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker heroics to overcome the plethora of weapons that the Miami Heat just continue to throw on the floor with every lineup they have. They're so deep. They're so dangerous. The back of the bench players are some of the most deadly playoff role players that you're going to find in Crowder and Iguodala, who are defensive minded and can hit big shots. Goran Dragic is just shooting teardrops all over the place. He's scoring with ease. It just becomes a situation where you're like, oh my God. Like I said, Derrick Jones Jr., I may have mentioned him a couple times in different videos. His length, he uses very well. He's out of this world athletic, one of the great dunkers in this league. So he ignites the team with his athleticism. If this weren't in the bubble, he would ignite crowds. He would be great for that. And he can hit open shots too. His offensive game's coming around. So it's like, that's another one you got to worry about. They just keep coming. They just keep coming. Even Bam Adebayo, people don't realize, he shoots threes. People don't realize he passes the rock. He does a lot of things, not just dunking the ball and rebounding. He would be a great player for the Clippers if they could find a way to pry him away from Miami, which is never going to happen. But that would be the perfect player for them and the Rockets. But, yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You just have what other teams need in Miami. Miami has what teams need, and because of it, they are where they are in the Eastern Conference. And if they were in the West, I don't know that they would be there. I'm not going to lie. I think there's still a nice drop-off between the Eastern Conference talent and the Western Conference talent. But I think this year, if the Western Conference team doesn't take the Eastern Conference team seriously, which in my prediction would be the Heat, they can get knocked off. I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and says the West is winning the championship. I've heard a lot of people say that the Lakers are just a foregone conclusion to win it. They should be. But I think, just like anything else, the Eastern Conference team this year has enough shooting to create problems for both of those Western teams. And it's just a matter of which one can knock each other off. I think it'll be the Heat. And if it's the Heat, you better be ready to play some perimeter defense. That's what I'd say. And so should the Celtics in the series. Be ready to play perimeter defense, and just play as sound as you've been playing. You know, this should go 7 games. I got it going 7 at this point. We'll see what happens. Still early. I don't want to get off of this phone here without telling you guys that Bam Adebayo's block shot was maybe the second greatest defensive play in playoff history. Maybe second, behind LeBron James's block. If I'm forgetting something, I'm not a historian. But yeah, that was a significant block in a playoff game. It was amazing. I saw it in real time, and I was stunned. That's the best thing I could say. Jason Tatum is one of the better dunkers out there. He was coming with full velocity, and Bam just completely denied it. Just one of the cleanest, most clutch blocks I've ever seen in the playoff game. One of the greats. So anyway, my name is BDF44. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Enjoy the games.